Hello students, today we are going to discuss the method of underpinning and scaffolding. In the previous videos we will study the concept related to the unit number 1, that is type of building, building codes and the masonry work. The remaining topics is underpinning and the scaffolding. So in the today's lecture we have to discuss the concept of underpinning, what is the need of underpinning system and the method of constructions. Also we have to study the concept of scaffolding and the type of scaffolding, which type of scaffolding we have to provide for which type of construction. So let's start with the underpinning system. So the underpinning is nothing but the method of repair and strengthening of building foundation. In another way, it is also defined as the process of strengthening and stabilizing the foundation of existing building or any structure. So there are number of reasons to provide the method of underpinning, which is help to strengthen the foundation of an existing building or any other structure. These methods involves installation of permanent or temporary supports to an already held foundation so that additional depth and bearing capacity is achieved. So there are number of reasons where we have to provide the process of underpinning. So the first one is the original foundation is simply not strong or it is not properly stabilized. In that case, we have to provide the process of underpinning. If there is a change of uses in a structure, in that case also we have to provide the process of underpinning. The most important part while we construct anything, there is a we have to provide the process, we have to provide the foundation, and for this foundation there is a need to investigate the whatever the strata where we support the foundation. So the most important part, that is characterization of the soil. If there is a less bearing capacity, if there is a less load carrying capacity, in that case there is a chances of settlements, and due to that there is a need of underpinning. The construction of nearby structure necessitates the excavation of soil supporting existing foundation, whatever the new projects are in our near about areas. So if there is a process of excavation, then this process also affected on the existing foundation of the existing structures. And the last one, that is it is more economical to work on existing structures instead of the new construction projects. Now there are various methods of the underpinning. So these are the following method which is used for the underpinning. So the first one is the mass concrete underpinning method, which is known as the PEAT method. Then underpinning by cantilever needle beam method, pier and beam underpinning method, mini pile underpinning, and last one is the pile method of underpinning. So the first method is mass concrete underpinning method, which is also known as the PEAT method. Mass concrete underpinning method is the traditional method of underpinning. Now this method involves extending of old foundation till it reaches to a stable stratum. Now the soil below the existing foundation is excavated in a controlled manner through the stages or peels which is provided for the underpinning. When the strata suitable is reaches, the excavation is filled with the concrete and kept for curing before next excavation is start. In order to transfer the load from old foundation to the new one, there is a provision of pins, or we can say the stages. Now here in this figure we can observe that this is the existing footing, there is a provision of pinning, or we can say the stages, and now these load will be transported to the near about areas. So this is the first method, that is mass concrete underpinning method. Second method is underpinning by cantilever needle beam method. In this method, the foundation has to be extended only one side and the plan possess a stronger interior column. This method can be used for the underpinning Now in this figure we can observe that the whatever the underpinning is provided only in one side of the beam, okay, where the column is very strong, so it can be helpful to transfer the load to the underground or to the foundation. Now the next method is the pile method of underpinning. Now in this method the pile are driven on adjacent sides of the wall that support the big foundation. A needle or the pin penetrate through the wall that is in turn connected to the piles. Now these two are the supportive members which makes a frame like structure, and the one needle or we can say the pin is penetrated through the beam through the walls in turns connected to the pile. So this is the one method of, that is pile method of underpinning. So these are the three methods which is basically used for the uh, underpinning system. Now the next concept, that is the concept of scaffolding. So scaffolding is nothing but the or the scaffolding is the temporary structure to support the original structure, as well as the workman use it as a platform to carry out construction activities. Now in this scaffoldings there are number of types of scaffolding that we have to study. Type of scaffolding varies with the type of construction work. The scaffolding is made up of timber or it made up of steel. Now according to the requirement there is a implementation of type of scaffoldings. So there are number of types. First one is the single scaffolding, double scaffolding, cantilever scaffolding, suspended scaffolding, trestle scaffolding, and the steel scaffolding. So the first one is the single scaffolding. In the single scaffolding, it is generally used for the brickwork, and it is also called as the bricklayer scaffolding. Now these scaffolding consist of three components, that is standard, ladders, and putlocks. Now if we observe this figure, now these vertical members are nothing but the standards. These inclined member are nothing but the ladders, and the horizontal members are nothing but the putlocks. Now these putlocks, the one end of the putlocks is inserted in the wall masonry, and another end of the putlock is raised on the ladders. Now while we consider the dimensions of these three components, so which is now these standards we have to provide it, which is parallel to the, sorry, whatever the scaffoldings we have to provide it, which is uh, about the 1.2 meter from the wall. Now the distance between the two standards is around 2 to 2.5. Now these vertical standards and the distance between these two standards is about 2 to 2.5 meter. The ladders connect to the standards at the interval of 1.2 to 1.5 meter. Now this vertical distance, that is this inclined portion to the standards, this vertical distance is around 1.2 to 1.5 meter. Now the putlocks are take out from the holes left in the wall, that is the one end of the putlocks is inserted in the wall and other is rest on the ladders, and the interval of these putlocks means this distance between these two putlocks is around 1.2 to 1.5 meter. So this is the single scaffolding, or this is also known as the bricklayer scaffolding. Now second is the double scaffolding. So in the double scaffolding is generally used for the stone masonry, so it is also known as the mason scaffolding. In the stone wall it is hard to make a hole, and putlocks will be inserted into that hole. It is very hard. So in that case the first row is about 20 to 30 centimeter away from the wall, and the other one is 1 meter away from the wall. If you observe in the figure, now this is the